we know the outcomes you drive when a mother or two parents can establish a home for their family. They've got more security. Their kids are more likely to go to school. Their kids are more likely to excel in school. They are more likely to have higher outcomes at work or in education. There's just so many outcomes. If you can solve for that stability, there's just a multiplier effect.
Welcome to Building Connection, a podcast from Habitat for Humanity of Greater Memphis. I'm Dwayne Spencer, President and CEO. I've been with Memphis Habitat for 24 years, and every day my team and I are focused on making affordable, healthy housing a reality for more people in our community through affordable mortgages, home construction, and home repairs for older adults. In my daily work, I often think about the connection between housing and so many other things. The reality is, housing, your home, is connected to everything. Sometimes it just takes a little conversation to uncover it. With each episode, our guest and I will discuss the powerful impact of home. We'll explore a variety of topics, housing, of course, as well as health, wealth, education, safety, but we'll always bring it back to home. The desire for home, a place of security, rest, and renewal, connects us all. So let's connect. Today we're going to venture beyond the world of housing, but we'll stay close to home. My guest is Brie Carere, Executive Vice President and Chief Customer Officer for FedEx Corporation, which has its global headquarters right here in Memphis. She also currently serves on the Memphis Habitat Board of Directors. Brie has been with FedEx for more than 2 decades, serving in various roles globally. She oversees the company's global commercial strategy, including sales, marketing, e-commerce, digital, and customer experience. Brie is a 3-time winner of the FedEx 5-Star Award, the company's highest team member honor. She also serves on the board of directors for ZipRecruiter. And in 2023, she was named a Henry Crown Fellow by the Aspen Institute. Originally from Ontario, Canada, Brie earned a Bachelor of Science in Commerce from McMaster University. She now lives here in Memphis with her husband, Nick, and their 4 children. Brie is a dedicated advocate for the city of Memphis and serves on a task force where she advises on the expansion of the pre-K to 12 school system operated by the University of Memphis. Brie, thank you for being with us.
Of course.
Really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So you happen to be our first guest who doesn't actually work in the housing sector. So I think we'll have a really interesting conversation.
Pressure.
A little bit,
Yeah.
Just a little. So because the premise of this podcast is to build connections between housing and other issues or industries, I think it'll be really cool. So we're going to start with an easy question. Great. Tell me about yourself, and in particular, your path to FedEx.
Oh, sure. That is an easy question. Well, thank you for having me, Dwayne.
Thank you.
As you know, I am so excited about the work that you guys are doing here at Habitat, so I was happy to have this conversation if it helps at all get your mission and your message out into the community. So I've joined FedEx about 24 years ago. As you mentioned, I'm Canadian, so I started in the Canadian division. I was pretty much fresh out of college. I'd had one sort of corporate job previously, didn't like the culture, knew it wasn't for me, so made the jump to FedEx, came in, thought I'd have a 2-year plan, that I'd learn a little bit about the industry and then go on to other things. 24 years later, I am still here. I'm here for...
We're glad you are.
Oh, thank you. A couple of reasons. You know, FedEx has this incredible culture and integrity. In my first foray into the corporate world, that was not my experience. And so when I showed up at FedEx, it was refreshing and exciting just how truthful they are to their culture. When we talk about PSP, people surface profit, we mean it. And I got to experience that firsthand all the way up to our founder, Fred Smith. So that was the first reason I stayed at FedEx. And then the second is it's fun. We work in 220 countries and territories. We get to touch every industry in the world. I get to work with small e-commerce customers here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I get to work with some of the world's largest healthcare and industrial companies all over the world. So it's been a wild ride, but I love FedEx, and I love what we do every day.
We're glad you're here, Brie. So you and I share something in common. We've both been with our organizations for 24 years. It's been a ride, and you rarely hear of folks staying in place that long. Can you talk a little bit more about why you've remained so invested in FedEx's work? The culture, obviously.
The culture, for sure. As I mentioned, that is what kind of initially had such an impact on me because it was so different than my experience. But I can think there's a couple other things when you dig into culture first. As you know, I am a mother of 4. So having a really big career and raising 4 children, I think many companies think you can do that everywhere. I'm not convinced. And I had incredible freedom and flexibility at FedEx to get the work done, but also to be able to manage and raise my children. I had wonderful role models that showed me how that was possible at FedEx, so that was one of the biggest reasons. And I think the other, that I talk a lot about is at FedEx, our purpose is connecting people and possibilities. We
feel similar to ours.
Yes, exactly. Right. There's a lot of similarities there with Habitat, and when you come to work every day, we spend so many hours at the office, or at least I spend a lot of hours at the office. You want to feel really good about the work you do, and we believe that facilitating trade, providing transportation, logistics, and solutions helps businesses grow. When business grows, communities thrive, people prosper. It is good for everyone. And so I get to get up every day and do something super interesting. I get to see the world. I get to meet all kinds of interesting people. But I also do get to go home at night and look my kids in the eye and know that what FedEx does truly matters. And I think we're better off because FedEx exists. So that feels good.
I guarantee you we are. So mentorship. I think that's something you've talked about before, and I want you to elaborate a little bit more on mentorship and the importance of it in uplifting others in the company and in the sector.
Oh, absolutely. So as I mentioned, I have 4 children. When I started in Canada, I got to work for a woman who's still at FedEx, actually. She runs our air operations. She's the president of air operations. Shout out to Lisa Listen if she's listening. She was my director when I started. Working mom, 4 kids. And so to be able to see someone doing what you want to do, it just, it expands your aperture. You think, okay, this is possible. So right off the bat, I just had this phenomenal mentor in Lisa. And then as I worked my way through the company, I got to experience all different types of leadership. I think at FedEx, there's some core leadership qualities. We really believe in humility. We believe about you do the work, you roll your sleeves up, you show up. You're not some executive in some corporate wing that doesn't understand the business. We really do expect our leaders to get their hands dirty. But I got to experience that from so many different leaders. And then, of course, I've had the incredible privilege of working for Fred Smith, our founder, who passed in June. But I got to work for him for the last 8 or 9 years here in Memphis. An incredible mentor. He really drove all of kind of his lessons in leadership as well as entrepreneurship. There was no challenge that Fred thought was too big to solve. And so that ambition, that pace, that energy in which he led was something that just had a huge lasting impact.
What a unique experience.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. Once in a lifetime, to get to work with an icon is pretty special. So we were very lucky.
Absolutely. So your service work, you joined the Memphis Habitat Board of Directors.
I did.
It was just in the last 18 or 24 months, right?
That sounds right.
It's gone pretty quickly. Quick. And I remember being at something that we call Habitat on the Hill, which is our annual advocacy event in February each year. And I got a call from one of your colleagues who said that our executive vice president wants to have a conversation with you, or a quick call. And I thought, oh my God, what's this about? It felt good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, What happened? What drew you to Habitat? How did that happen?
So a couple of things. One of the things as my kids were going from little to, tweens and teens, and we're having different conversations. And I was thinking a lot about the parent that I wanted to be and the leader that I wanted to be. And, I was talking to the kids a lot about service and making time for service and giving back and participating in their community. And I think they were kind of looking at me like, I don't see that, Mom. I see you talking the talk, but not walking the walk.
Okay.
And so actually 2 years ago, I had a New Year's resolution to make sure that I was spending more time in my community. Memphis, and we'll talk about this, has been so good to me personally, has been so good to my family, that I really thought I had a responsibility to give back. I wanted to, we talk a lot at FedEx about, the shadow of leadership. I wanted to show my kids what it looks like. And so started to do my research. And, not only the feedback from my FedEx team was this is just an incredible organization. Of course, we'll talk about why that is. But right at the top of my list to have an impact. And I really wanted to learn and to grow and to find out how else I could help.
I have to tell you, you've been like a breath of fresh air. I had thought originally, wow, this is a high-level executive in a large corporate environment. How will she fit in with my other board members?
Gosh.
Did I ever share that with you?
No.
But
you thought you were getting a suit.
You've been so open and accessible.
Oh, good.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And like just doing this podcast.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm sure there are individuals who join boards because I want it on the resume. My intention was to have impact. Is that we just talked about is, I get up every day and I want to be proud of the work that I do, and I wanted to be proud of the parent I am and the leader I am. And I talked a lot about service. We talk at FedEx, one of our cultural pillars is do good. And so I wanted to help do more good, and I hope I am.
You are. But I do have another question on that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of need and a lot of opportunity to give your time and energy to many other organizations around the world or in Memphis. Why did you pick Habitat over all the other things that you could possibly be doing?
Great questions. So first, I really wanted to do something here focused in Memphis. Memphis is the heartbeat of FedEx. I wanted to make sure that I was investing in the community that has been really good to me and to my family. So that was sort of filter one.
Yes.
Filter two was when I think about, the work that we need to do in this city, and there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of great things about living in Memphis, and then there's obviously some more serious work to do. I wanted to get down to some of the root causes. And as we talked about, I think Habitat does that. We know the outcomes you drive when a mother or two parents can establish a home for their family. They've got more security. Their kids are more likely to go to school. Their kids are more likely to excel in school. They are more likely to have higher outcomes at work or in education. There's just so many outcomes. If you can solve for that stability, there's just a multiplier effect. In addition to that, I really love the flywheel of Habitat for Humanity. Again, we talk about this at the board that I think a lot of people think we give houses away.
Yes.
We don't give houses away.
Correct.
And so this is working with community members who want to start that next chapter of their life. They're going to build equity. They're taking out the mortgage. There is this skin in the game.
Yes.
And yes, of course, we're helping. But just that commitment from your home buyers, I think, is really, really important. And then finally, when I asked the FedEx team, our FedEx team members love Habitat. You get to come out.
I was hoping you heard
on
good
a build.
things.
It is our number one request at FedEx Cares.
Wonderful.
Because, again, when we do service work, you want to be able to touch and feel and see the impact.
Yes.
When you see a house go up, that's pretty impactful.
Yes.
So there was a lot of reasons. And by the way, great reputation. I think the city of Memphis knows the great work that you do, and I'm proud to be part of it.
We're so happy that you are. Thank you.
Of course.
Want to find great deals, declutter your home, and make a difference in Memphis? Shop or donate at your local Habitat for Humanity Restore. Both Memphis Restores offer great deals on furniture, appliances, building materials, and more. Every purchase or donation helps Habitat partner with local home buyers to build and repair safe, affordable homes. Together, we build homes, communities, and hope. Visit memphisrestore.com or follow us on social media to find your closest Habitat Restore today.
So, corporate social responsibility, Brie, CSR.
Yes.
And yours is probably wrapped around FedEx Cares, right?
Correct.
It's your trademark initiative.
Yes.
So we in the local community are very aware of that because we're the ones out seeking your monetary contributions and your volunteerism. But I suspect that there are probably people out there in the world who've never heard of CSR. So tell us a little bit about that and as well as FedEx's approach to philanthropy.
Sure. We're really proud of FedEx Cares. You know, our goal is to continue to increase our giving as we grow our profit. Last year, we gave $55 million in charitable donations and in-kind shipping, which is just, you know, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to be able to share that number. And so, you know, the more successful we are, the more impact we get to have in the community, which is really important. We try to filter where and how we give to a couple of things. Number one, we want to give to communities in which our team members work and live. That's really important to us. So we spend a lot of time and energy thinking about the city of Memphis because, of course, this is our global headquarters. In addition to that, we try to look for opportunities where we have unique skills and assets that others don't have. So again, one of our biggest giving pillars is called Delivering for Good, and that is where we use, you know, our international logistics expertise, our airline, to get to places that others can't get to and to get there first. So we do a ton of work in disaster recovery, which we're really, really proud of. But here in the city of Memphis, we are really focused on the city. We give $40 million between FedEx Cares and then some of the local sponsorships that we do with, you know, University of Memphis. Go Tigers.
Yes, go Tigers.
And so we're constantly trying to evaluate the organizations that have the largest impact. That's really, really important to us, that if we're going to give $1, that we know we're going to get a great return. And what do I mean by a great return? Is that we're going to help impact somebody's life. Ideally, that dollar has a return and turns into $2.
Yes, it does.
And there's a flywheel effect that if you can invest in somebody and then they can invest in their education, they can build their family wealth, they can join the workforce. You know, those compounding benefits are always something we're looking for. Beautiful.
So, you know, we're an international organization as well in 60 plus countries around the world. I would be really curious, and I think others would too, about the programs that you support outside of the United States. Tell us about some things that you're doing.
We do a ton.
Okay.
So outside of the United States, and again, most of our programs are global, so there's not too many programs that we will do just for a single country. So again, we're trying to be able to scale our resource. The thing that we do globally most broadly is disaster recovery.
Yes.
Again, we work in, you know, virtually everywhere. And so if there is a hurricane, if there is any sort of natural disaster, wildfires, unfortunately, here in North America have been a really big issue for us. We work with some great organizations and NGOs, Direct Relief comes to mind, where we are moving in all kinds of first aid, fresh water, food supplies. We also do some great work. We actually have a mobile hospital at the FedEx hub that we can fly to any disaster area so that we can be first on ground and support medical services as required. So that's a big part of it. We also do all kinds on safety. You know, it's something that we probably take for granted here in the United States, but road safety is a big issue outside of the United States and in developing markets. And so we do a lot of education there. We do a lot of work with youth around the world in various aspects, whether it's back to school, making sure students have the supplies they need, or whether it's things like junior achievement, where we're educating for future job preparation and employment pathways. There's a ton of work we do at FedEx.
That's amazing. I'm learning a lot. I really am. So I'd like you to talk, if you can, about how the issue of housing might intersect with a major employer like FedEx. And can you talk about it right here in Memphis, how it impacts it, but also can you talk about it outside of the United States?
Yeah, absolutely. So here in Memphis, we actually are just this month going to launch our new Memphis focus area from a CSR and our FedEx Cares. We're really trying to focus on the things that we think are most impactful to the city of Memphis and where FedEx can have the largest impact. We're actually launching it at the Goodwill Excel Center, and their focus is on tuition free for anybody 18 or plus that really wants to go back and get their high school diploma. It is not about the piece of paper, right? It is about that next chapter. If you can imagine somebody who doesn't have that piece of paper, when they do get it, it opens up so many options. It can be a game changer for them personally, for their future family, for them and their partner. It just creates a future that is probably not possible without it. And so we're launching this new program. It's got 3 tiers. The first is about employment pathways. We think that is really, as the largest employer in Memphis, we want to make sure that we've got people prepared to come to work at FedEx, but also prepared to work in the wide variety of industries available here at FedEx. And then we think that will help grow investment in the city. So that's sort of pillar 1. Pillar 2 is getting involved, is community participation, is making sure that all of our team members feel like they get to participate in making Memphis a better place to live and work. And then 3 is civic advocacy, making sure that we are really focused on the issues like security and safety, which we know are really, really important to Memphians. And so as we're relaunching this program, Habitat and housing fit perfectly, because as we talked about, if you've got the stability of a home, you are far more likely to be successful in your employment pathways. Your children are going to be so much more likely to be successful in their education, which ultimately leads to employment pathways. So we think there's this great intersection between the work you do and the work that we want to do here in the city.
Is there any sort of impact on your ability to recruit talent, housing, or affordability?
I think in general, well, you know this so much better than I do. Memphis housing is affordable relative to the rest of the country.
Sure. Yes.
But there's still not enough of it. And there's not the wide variety at all different price points that we need, which is why your work is so important. And so right now, from an employment at FedEx, we do not see that as a significant issue.
Good.
But we know for the city of Memphis, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you recently joined us for a big announcement.
Yes.
September 23rd.
Big one.
It was a big, it was a fun day. And so we hosted a groundbreaking, as you know, and we announced the biggest fundraising effort really in the history of our organization. When you say a $62 million campaign, which is going to help us to build 150 houses and do 1,250 repairs for older adults. But that was not all that happened that day. You actually joined us and made public FedEx's commitment to the campaign. Would you like to talk a little bit about that? And
Sure. I would like to say ongoing commitment.
Yes, ongoing.
Because,
yes, it is.
You know, we've had, and again, part of why I'm so excited to be part of this organization, FedEx and Habitat, if I've done my research right, I've had a 30-year relationship.
Yes.
We've had 11,500 FedEx team members participate on
Amazing.
a build, which is just awesome.
Yes.
They have impacted the lives of more than 80 families. We've participated in the builds of, I think, 45 houses.
That's right.
We got to participate in your 500th build. So there's just
You
like
did
this.
your
I did my
research.
homework. There is like this
I love
deep
it.
history between FedEx and Habitat. We're just so proud of the work that you did.
Thank you.
So yes, we made a $5 million commitment to continue to help drive the impact that you get to have here in the community of Memphis and really drive outcomes. We hope all of, and I know some of our
grateful.
best corporate colleagues and partners in the city have already contributed.
Yes.
But we're doing everything we can to get the word out because I know you're getting close, but
Yes.
we're not quite there.
Correct.
And so we've got a little bit more work to do, but I know FedEx team members are really excited to be a part of this really
so
important
grateful.
campaign.
We're
It's
so
exciting.
grateful.
It's an exciting moment for the
Yes.
city.
It is. Thank you for that. So, Brie, we're going to wrap it up
Okay.
with a recurring segment we're calling Bring It Back to Home. So each segment, we ask our guests the same questions. And you can respond to them however you like, short, long, answer, elaborate, whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
And it can also just be personal or professional or a mix of both. It work?
All right, I'm ready.
Yep. First question. Quite easy, but maybe complex at the same time, right? So what does home mean to you? Or what do you think about when you hear the word home?
Oh, well, for me, obviously, it's family. That is,
Yes.
I've been in Memphis now almost 9 years.
Yeah.
When I first moved, I used to say things like, I'm going home for Christmas or I'm going home for Easter. And my colleagues were like, don't you live here? I'm like, well, yeah, I live here, but my home is in Toronto. As the kids got older, I recognized that that's not accurate. Our community's here, our home is here, the family is here. And
they're growing up here.
And they're growing up here.
Yeah.
I've got Southerners
Southerners
with a little Canadian. They still say A. But so for me, home is where your family is. That is community. I think for you and for the work that we do too, it's even more profound, right? Home is hope, home is stability, home is safety. It's checking off so many boxes that that I think sometimes many Memphians take for granted. And I just think that's why your work is so important and so powerful, is that if we can give more Memphians those things, the stability, safety, hope for a different type of future, hope for their children, optimism.
It's a lift to the entire community, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So home can be a pretty profound word.
Yes. Thank you. So the podcast is called Building Connection. And it's all about drawing on the connections between housing and home and other issues that people care about. So what is one connection point, one takeaway that you want the audience to take away from our conversation? Building connection.
Building connection.
Yes.
I guess my instinct when I think about a key takeaway is I always go back to our founder, right? I always go back to Fred's because he's such a visionary.
Yes.
And when I think about connection, I think about us connecting ideas and, quite frankly, thinking bigger, just constantly going back to what is possible. I don't think there's enough conversation about really big visions. I'm so excited about your campaign. And 150 homes is incredible. I want us to think about 1,000. That is the connection of what is next? Who do we need to connect with? Who needs to come into the conversation? What else is possible? The ambition that we need to have for the city and our community should be massive because there's just so much opportunity.
I love that. Thank you for saying that.
Together we can do it.
There's so many people out there counting on us.
Absolutely. And who, honestly, they need to connect in too, right? That's the more people that are thinking about these challenges we face, the more successful we will be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
One last easy question.
Sure.
It's a fill in the blank. You've sort of done it already, but I want you to try to settle on one. It's a fill in the blank. Blank starts with a home.
Hope.
Aspiration. I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Brie.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So if you were going to just leave any other thought with our audience, just anything you wanted to share, what would that be?
Oh, get involved. It feels good. Service is also a really selfish thing, right? Anytime you participate in your community, I feel better.
When you give, you get, right?
Absolutely. So for those of you that are thinking about what else can I do, go to the Habitat site, make a donation, sign up for a build, or quite frankly, look at FedEx Cares. There's so many great ways to get involved in this city. So just, put your phone down and get out.
That's the start,
yes,
right?
I know, for all of us, by the way, for all of us, myself included.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate you,
Of
Brie.
course.
Thank
you
so
for having
much.
me.
Thank you. Thanks again to Brie Carere for joining me today. And thank you for tuning in to Building Connection. I'll be back soon with another episode. In the meantime, please follow, share, or leave us a review. You can find Building Connection on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music Audible, Memphis Habitat's YouTube channel, and memphishabitat.com. You can also email us your feedback or suggestions for future guests at podcast@memphishabitat.com. See you next time. Thank you for listening to Building Connection, a podcast from Habitat for Humanity of Greater Memphis. Our executive producer is Jessica Horde, VP of Brand Strategy. This podcast is produced by Forever Ready Productions, a mission-driven production company headquartered right here in Memphis. They tell stories that inspire action, believing that together we can build collective purpose and impact. Since 1983, Habitat for Humanity of Greater Memphis has worked to help more people in the Memphis area access decent, affordable housing through new homes, affordable mortgages, and home repairs. Every safe, affordable home sparks wider change, leading to better health, education and well-being, more economic growth, and less poverty. Healthy communities, intergenerational wealth, peace of mind, and the ability to focus on what matters most. It all starts with a home. To learn more about Memphis Habitat, sign up for our newsletter and get involved. Visit memphishabitat.com. Together, we can build homes, communities, and hope.